Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, so we're gonna get right into the video. I think this is part 3, part 4, child, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna put it like in the title at the bottom. So, I left off on the last video where Jay was texting me and he was telling me about how, because like I had made him lunch and all that, and he posted it on Snapchat with like a caption and all that. And he was texting me telling me how apparently Thing One had an issue with that. So he texted me and he said that she messaged him about it, about what he had posted on Snapchat about me bringing him lunch. And he pretty much just said that she was going off on him and that she was obviously mad and that she felt some type of way. So then I texted him back and I was like, well, why? Like, why does she feel some type of way? Why is she mad? What's her problem? And he texted me back and he pretty much said that she was mad about it, right? Which I mean, like, duh, I got that, but I want to know why she's mad about it because all of this is not making sense to me. Like, you're telling me that nothing happened between you two and that she just feels some type of way because she liked you or she had a crush on you. Like, it's just not like the math is not mathing, basically. So he ends up coming clean and he tells me that, remember how I said, I think it was like in the last video. Yeah, I think it was either in the last video or the video before that, where I said that shortly after me and Jay had broke up, we were still friends, we were still hanging out. And that night that we had got drunk and I slept over his house and he tried to kiss me. Well, he didn't try, he did kiss me, but then I turned around and I like went to sleep the other way. So apparently that made him feel rejected and it gave him this whole sense of, that I had moved on, which I did. So he said that he felt some type of way and he decided that he was trying to get over me. So how he tried to get over me is by sleeping with Thing One. Yes, I said it. They had sex and he lied to me about it because if you remember, I clearly asked him like that night that we came back from the beach on 4th of July, and I asked like what had happened between them two. Well, I'm sorry, not that night, but like a few days later after we had got back together, and I asked him like what happened. So yes, he told me that he ended up sleeping with her to try to get over me. So he said that he ended up sleeping with her because he was trying to get over me, but he ended up not liking her, like wanting to be in a relationship with her. He just wanted to be friends. Like he wanted to basically be friends with benefits with her, and she ended up getting her feelings involved. So I started asking him, I was like, what type of things were you doing to the point where she would get her feelings involved? Like, because at this point it's still not clicking to me. Like, the math is still not mathing. So then he starts to tell me that basically how I was saying how me and him, how we used to like cook together, how we used to like chill and watch movies together and stuff like that. Like he was doing that with her as well. So yeah, so I'm like, well, I mean, that's probably why she started to catch feelings because you're doing couple things with this girl. The age difference between them played a huge part in it because if he's like 23, 24, right, sleeping with a 19-year-old girl, thinking that he can just be friends with benefits with her, or thinking that he can just sleep with her and then go back to being friends, that's going to be okay with her, right? But she still has that young girl mentality. You get what I'm saying? Like she's not mature enough to be like, okay, well, just because we slept together, that doesn't mean he likes me like that, or that doesn't mean we're a couple. Like it doesn't register in her mind like that, right? And that's pretty much what I was trying to explain to him. I was like, well, first of all, I asked him, I was like, well, why did you lie? Like I asked you if something happened between the two of you and you told me no, and you said that she just had a crush on you. And then he was like, well, yeah, I lied to you because I wanted to get back together, and I knew that if I told you what really happened, you wouldn't have wanted to get back together with me. which is very much true. Very much true. Because if I would have known, like, before us getting back together, if I would have known that him and Thing One had slept together, hell no, I would not have gotten back with him. Like, no, absolutely not. And he knew that. So he was right in that sense. I feel like lying was the wrong thing to do. Like, lying was the wrong decision to make in those circumstances. So yeah, so moving on from that, um honestly, I I don't want to say I didn't feel no type of way about them sleeping together, because I didn't. I more so felt some type of way about him lying about it, right? Because hair in my mouth. Um, but because, like, they slept together when we weren't together, and plus we're together now, so it's not like I could be having any ill feelings towards that. What my issue was that he lied about it. Right? Because it's like, if you're going to lie about that just because you want us to be together, then what else are you going to lie about? What else have you lied about? Like, I feel like it was the point of, like, all right, now our trust is very much cracked at this point. So, of course, now I start asking details. Like, I want to know. And to be honest, how do I explain it? I I feel like the girls watching this, like, girls don't know. Like, I didn't really care about him sleeping with her. I just wanted to know if he ate her. That's all I wanted to know, because that shit is for me. Like, you don't do that shit with no other bitch. So once he said that he didn't, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, yeah, I don't really care. That shit was, when we weren't together, because at that time I was definitely doing my thing as well. So, but I felt some type of way about him lying. And I also told him, I was like, well, because you lied about it, and because now I don't really trust you like that because of the lie, like, I don't think that it's a good idea for the two of you to remain friends. And he didn't really understand why I was saying that, right? And it's not like I was insecure about them hanging around each other, or I was insecure about our relationship or anything like that. My thing is, I feel like if you're in a relationship, there's no reason why you should be friends with or still communicating with someone like, other people you've been in a relationship with, or other people you've had sexual relations with. Like, there's no reason for you to still be communicating with them. Like, for what? And I was trying to explain it to him like that, but he wasn't getting it. So then I was like, now mind you, this is all through text messages. So, like, then I started telling him, I was like, well, you two were friends in the beginning, sure, whatever. But once you slept together, that line was crossed in your relationship, and, like, in your friendship. And then once you lied to me about it, a line was crossed in our relationship. You just been, like, crisscrossing all of these lines, you feel me? So yeah, I told him that I didn't think that it was a wise decision for him to still be friends with her, especially since, from whatever type of sexual relationship that she had, she obviously caught feelings from it, right? And she likes him, and now she's feeling some type of way towards me. And then speaking of that, it also started to make sense of why she felt some type of way, at the beach on 4th of July. I know I'm getting crazy off topic. But my thing is, it's like, you're mad at me and giving me dirty looks when I never even knew they slept together until, at this point, a month or so later. So why did she have all that secret animosity towards me, as if I knew that they were sleeping together? I never knew that. And not only that, but he was treating her like a third wheel the entire time. Like, what are those lyrics? I can't think of it right now. Oh, when I come around, you become invisible. Like, no, for real. Like, the second I stepped in and I started hanging with them together, she became invisible. And he ignored her. So maybe that's why she felt some type of way towards me. Child, I don't know. Anyway, moving on. So moving on. After that, like, our relationship was very much rocky. I'm not gonna lie, it was extremely rocky. It was pretty obvious that I didn't trust him. I thought he was a liar, because it's like, if you're gonna lie about that one thing, what else are you gonna lie about? So Shortly after that, his grandmother had passed away. And in his culture, when a loved one passes away, you fly their body back to their home country, and then they have like a month long celebration, right? So, like, you know how in American culture, when someone passes away, you have like the viewing, you have the funeral, then you have like the wake. I think it's called like the wake, when people go to like, I guess, a church somewhere and they eat, like, you know, stuff like that, right? Well, in his culture, you fly the body back to the home country, and there's like a month long celebration that has like festivals, parades, and stuff like that, right? When someone passes away. So he tells me that he's going to be gone. He's going to be going back home to his home country, and he's going to be gone for the entire month, right? So I'm like, okay, you know, makes sense. So then I tell him, I'm like, okay, well, why don't we, you know, go on one last trip, like one last out of town trip before you go, being that we had just gotten back together, right? Which he agreed. So we take a weekend trip to Baltimore, per usual. Um, we go to the aquarium. Of course, I booked the hotel. I booked the hotel, paid for that. He paid for our tickets to get into the aquarium. He also paid for parking. We went out to eat a couple of times. And then with that, it was kind of like 50-50. Like, he would pay one time, I would pay another time. He would pay one time, I would pay another time. We pretty much just kept going, like, back and forth. Yeah. So by the time he came back, he only had like maybe a week or so left before he had to leave the country. And we agreed to like FaceTime, text each other, and talk on the phone the entire time that he was gone. Now, let me just say this. Even though like our relationship was for the most part good, something in me, like my gut feeling was telling me that when he leaves for a month, he's going to be talking to thing one. He's going to be talking to her. Even though I pretty much said to him, like, yeah, I don't think y'all should be friends anymore. I don't think you should communicate with her. I don't think you should hang out with her. You feel me? Like, I knew, like, my gut was telling me, like, yeah, he's probably not doing that now that he's here, but I'm pretty sure once he leaves for a month, that's exactly what he's going to be doing, right? So, because of that, I started talking to niggas too. I was like, yeah, nah, he finna be talking to her while he's gone. I'm finna be talking to niggas while he's gone. Period. Now we can be twins. Like, no. No, for real. So, a month went by. He's gone out of the country. We're texting, we're FaceTiming. Everything is cool, right? He's sending me pictures and videos of like all the festivities that's going on and stuff like that, right? So boom. So he comes back. Now, when he comes back, I think he came back, I think it was like maybe midnight or shortly after midnight. And that same day, he had to work. So then he texted me and was like that he wanted to see me, you know, being that he just got back. So when he got off work, he was going to swing by, pick me up, and then I was going to spend the night with him. So I'm like, okay, cool. So he gets off work, he comes to pick me up. I, you know, of course, packed myself a bag, and now we're going to his place. Now we go to his place. So we get to his place, and being that he just got off work, he decides that he wants to take a shower, get out his work clothes, and put on something comfortable, right? So I go in his room, and I'm laying on his bed scrolling through my phone, right? And I think I was on like Instagram or something like that. Anyway, so I'm on his bed scrolling through my phone, right? So eventually he gets out the shower, right? He comes into the bedroom and he opens the door. And I'm still looking at my phone, scrolling through my phone, but out of my peripheral, I can see him standing in the doorway. So I look up at him. He had this look on his face. And you know what it reminded me of? Like, you know, when you were a kid and your mother left the house and she said, "Oh, I want this house clean by the time I got back." And you sat around and ate this shit all day, and do you hear her pull into the driveway, and you look around and that house is not clean, and now you thinking she finna like whoop me? That's the look he had on his face. I kid you not. He had the "oh shit, I just got caught" look on his face, as if I had caught him doing something. That's the look he had. And immediately I knew. I knew. I was like, yeah, he did some shit when he was away. He did something. But I'm going to play it cool because I don't know what it is. So as we're staring at each other, he has this look on his face. Mind you, he had a towel wrapped around his waist, but you could still see like the water droplets on his body. So he didn't dry off or nothing. He literally hopped out the shower, put a towel around his waist, and rushed into the room, right? So I look at him and I'm like, what? And he shakes his head to say nothing, but does not speak. He walks over to me because, like I said, I was laying on his bed, but I was laying on his side of the bed, right? Like the side that he usually sleeps on. So he walks over to me, still not saying anything. And he lifts up the pillow and the comforter. His phone is underneath the pillow, right? He picks up his phone, walks over, like he walks over to the closet and starts scrolling or doing something on his phone. And that's when it clicks. Oh, he thought I went through that phone. That's why he came in the room like that. He has something in that phone that he does not want me to see. And when he was in the shower, he thought I was in here going through his phone. So what's in there? What are you hiding? Okay, don't even worry about it. And the reason why I didn't say nothing is because I knew this. Like I said, before he left to go out of the country for a month, I already knew. Like my gut was telling me that while he was gone, he was finna be talking to Thing One. I knew that. And that's why I was doing what I was doing. So when I seen him like take his phone and like go off to the side, I didn't even say nothing. I didn't even say that. I acted like I didn't peep it, in fact, because I knew what was in my phone. So, like, you know, what am I finna say something for? Anyway, so I ignored that whole little ordeal. He gets dressed, we go downstairs, we start cooking dinner together, we come back upstairs, we put on a movie, obviously we get in the bed, we sleep together, boom. So as he's sleeping, I'm laying there awake, right? I'm laying there, wide awake. And I'm thinking about what happened with the phone. And I'm like, nah, this nigga's up to he's up to something. He was definitely doing some shit while he was away. For sure. Because why would he act like that, like over his phone? Now, mind you, up until this point, like I had never, like, and even our entire relationship, like I had never went through his phone. Like he had the passcode to my phone and I had the passcode to his phone, but like I never went through his phone. Now I may use his phone for something. I may be like, can I see your phone real quick? I need to do something. And, you know, he'll give it to me. But that's it. Like, I never felt like I needed to go through his phone. But now I do. Right? Even though I peeped that Jay was doing some funny stuff in his phone, whatever, I didn't really mention it, right? But he keeps, like, every now and then he'll mention like, oh, how I should trust him to hang around with Thing One, because I guess because he felt like he was missing out, basically. Homeboy and Thing One, they would be like hanging out or going to parties or doing this, that, and the third. Or like, and obviously Jay wouldn't go because Thing One was there. And then there would be times when Jay would want to hang out with Homeboy, but then he would be with Thing One, so then Jay couldn't hang out with them. And he definitely expressed to me that he felt some type of way about that he can only hang out with Homeboy when Thing One isn't around. He felt like that was dumb, basically. He felt like it was dumb because he don't like Thing One like that, and he never did. And whatever it was that he had with her was just sex. And even now that that's done, like, you know, he really don't got no rap for her like that, basically. And remember how I said in the first video that Homeboy was my least favorite friend? Because the reason why I say that is because now this is information that Jay is relaying back to me. So basically, Homeboy would feel some type of way that Jay was barely hanging out with them, like with him and Thing One, because of me, right? So then Homeboy was putting a bug in his ear, telling him that he needs to break up with me because I'm controlling and I'm this and I'm that, and how I shouldn't be worried about Thing One. But yeah, all of that. So And by the way, this is stuff that apparently, because apparently Homeboy and Jay would talk about this a lot. Like a lot, a lot, a lot. And these are things that Homeboy was continuing to put into his mind. Now, could I feel some type of way? Maybe, because it's like, what are you doing? Like, Homeboy was supposed to be a nigga. And he was acting like a female. Because why are you even getting involved in stuff like that? Like, that's not, but whatever. And I ended up having a conversation with Jay about that. Like, I pretty much said that. I was like, I really don't think that is his business, and I don't really give a fuck what he thinks about me. Ta-da, surprise. And and Jay was like, oh, he's just my friend. He's trying to give me advice and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so at that point, I ended up not liking Homeboy at all, to the point where when I would be with Jay and Homeboy would come around, I wouldn't even speak. And if he would speak to me, I wouldn't speak back. And then it got to the point where because obviously Jay would get around Homeboy and they would discuss me and discuss our relationship. So then it got to the point that if I'm there, Homeboy wouldn't want to come around. And if he did come around, he wouldn't speak to me, wouldn't, like, he would act like I wasn't even there. And I was doing the exact same thing to him, which was putting Jay in a very, very uncomfortable position. I get that, right? So some time goes by and Jay ends up telling on himself, basically. Like, I don't remember the exact context of the conversation. Oh, so I was chilling at Jay's house one night and we're just having a regular conversation, and he ends up mentioning how he's in a group chat with Thing One and Homeboy, right? And now once he said that, in my mind I'm thinking, okay, that's probably what he didn't want me to see in his phone, or whatever the case may be, because I still never said anything about how he was acting weird about his phone. But then again, why would I, right? So anyway, he's talking about how he's in a group chat with Thing One and Jay, and how Thing One is not old enough to buy alcohol, but she wanted a bottle. So Homeboy and Jay are both old enough to buy alcohol, right? Keep that in mind. She wanted Homeboy to drive her to the liquor store to get a bottle, but she asked Jay to come along because she didn't trust Homeboy with her, like, with her bank card. So she wanted Jay to come along so that he can go in the store to get it. And Jay was telling me that this happened. Basically, he got in the car with Homeboy. They went and picked up Thing One, went to the liquor store. She gave her card to Jay. Jay went in, got the liquor, gave it back to her. Then Homeboy dropped him back off at home, and then Homeboy and Thing One had left, right? And he ended it with, see, I didn't do anything. I told you I could be trusted. What? You did what? You're in a group chat with who? And you're just now telling me. No, you can't be trusted. Because why are you telling me this way after it already fucking happened? Yeah, no. This ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. So my thing is, you're just now telling me. How long have y'all been in a group chat? How long? Not only that, but you're telling me that you've gone to the liquor store. Oh, and by the way, he also ends up telling me that he had hung out with them before. He said that they just went to the store so that he could get Thing One a bottle. Right. So he has said that he hung out with them before too, but he didn't really go into like context or detail about that. But my thing is, okay, you're lying. You're being sneaky. You're hiding stuff. Yeah, the whole entire thing turned into an argument because at that point I no longer trusted him. And then for him to do all of that and then to say, "Oh, so now you should trust me?" No, I'm not. I'm not doing it. I'm doing the opposite, honestly. But because it just didn't make sense to me at all. At all. So after that, we end up breaking up because it turned into a whole argument, and he ended up taking me home, and that was pretty much it. And then I saw him maybe like one time because I ended up quitting that job. So shortly after me and him broke up, like maybe like 2 to 3 months after me and him broke up, I ended up quitting that job. So maybe a few months after that, like I know, crazy time frame. But anyway, some months after that, I ended up going back to shop there because I had to buy something. I don't remember what it was, but I had to buy something. So I went there and he was still working there, but he didn't speak to me and I didn't speak to him. That was it, and I never saw him again. Oh, literally immediately after me and him broke up, he started dating thing one. Right. So that goes to show that I do not think that I was being delusional. I don't think that I was being crazy or anything like that, regarding not trusting him, right? Because if we break up and the first person you date after me is the same bitch that you said that you only seen as a friend, clearly whatever whatever it was that I had worked up in my mind, whatever pieces of the puzzle that I was trying to fit together clearly fit correctly, and I was on point with everything that I was feeling, completely on point, right? But I don't have any ill feelings or anything like that. And I feel like it wasn't meant for us to be together. And I feel like it was meant for us to break up, honestly, because I know how I am regarding trusting the person that I'm in a relationship with, right? And once that trust is gone, you can just kiss me goodbye, like for real, because I mean at that point it's just not going to work for me, because so many things are going to be running through my mind about how, oh, if like, can I trust you, can I do this, can I do that type of thing, right? But like I said, it is what it is, and it was not meant for us to be together. It was always meant for us to break up. A few months after me and him broke up, I ended up getting pregnant. Then I ended up having a miscarriage, and then 4 months later I ended up getting pregnant with my son. So if I would have waited those 7 years for him, like till he finished school and got settled in his career, or even if I would have waited the 2 years like he wanted until after he graduated, like obviously my son would not be here then, right? So everything happens for a reason. It was obviously God's plan for us to not be together. And yeah, so that is the end of this video. I'm surprised with how short it is. I thought it was going to be so much longer than this, but anyway. So yeah, see you guys for the next story time that I'm finna drop and the next video. And I hope that you enjoyed this one. So yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And bye.